Hello everyone and welcome back to PGP Motorsports Park for the penultimate race of the 2024 fall season. Right now we're starting off with the last chance qualifying. For those not familiar, the last chance qualifying is the last chance for the people who did not finish in the top 10 of their respective heat races to make it into the final. We'll be going into a 20-minute race, and the top 4 of this race will get to move on. The rest are out, and they'll just be getting their points for finishing where they finished in this race.
And in that race, we're starting off with Baron on pole, and a nice gray sweater guy in second. That is Ethan. Ethan. Hi, Ethan. The track worker's trying to yell at me or something.
Do we have the tarp tied down?
The tarp tied down? No, we do not. I'll get that. You take over for the race start. I'll tie down the tarp.
All right, sounds good. We're getting that. All right, the flag's waved and they're away. Right now, the LCQ starters are going to go out, try to race for every position that they can, looking to get into the top 4. Going into roller coaster they go. It's still quite the cluster through there. I don't see any major contact or any spin-outs yet. The top 2 are breaking away from this pack, trying to secure their positions really early on, but the battle for 3rd and 4th is really tight, and it looks like there was a position drop for the person who started in 4th, and they're going to have to fight to get that back. And then the squabble continues further on behind them, continuing to go 2 wide, fighting for every position that they can, going through top of the world, and into bus stop they go through the right and left-hand corners. We're going to go into a tight right-hander, and I know that people like to throw in their dives right there, but they all stay in line, just trying to solidify this race and begin their duels and start implementing the strategy now that the chaos of the first few corners have concluded.
All right, what I miss? A lot of action. We got a new race lead. That's Aiden Flynn in the lead. I said Ethan earlier. They're brothers, Aiden and Ethan. I got the wrong name. I get it mixed up all the time. My bad. But yeah, Aiden Flynn took the lead, followed very closely by Baron.
And
Cole on
the
the
battle
outside.
for second right now as they go 2 by 2 into corner 3, and it looks like the person who was in second place falls back and they risk losing 4th place, but they're going to be on the inside line for the next corner. In fact, they have already secured it, but it looks like they give it away, open up the inside a little bit, but they don't lose it. They're nice and clean.
All right. But yeah, we got Aiden Flynn in the lead of this LCQ, followed very closely by Baron. And actually, no, Baron fell back almost, I believe. Got overtaken by Cole Sheriff in that good blue race suit. Yeah, Cole is taking second place. That puts Baron in 3rd and Cole and Flynn in 4th. That's our top 4 going to start off this LCQ. These top 4 racers, if they can hold their positions, will make it into the final.
As we see 2 by 2 action going on as... you said Kenji's in the green helmet?
That's Colin in the green helmet. Colin making a move on Baron, and he makes the move on Baron. But he leaves the door open to let Baron get back in, which isn't necessarily a bad thing if you could keep it around the outside to get a good, keep the inside during turn 1. But unfortunately for Colin, Baron managed to get that spot back. All is not lost for Colin, because Colin didn't lose to 5th place, so he's still in contention for the final. Baron giving Colin the head signal saying, hey, let's not fight too much. We're already in the golden positions to make it to the final. We don't want to fall back even further. So it's up to Colin to decide whether or not he wants to stay in 4th place or risk getting 3rd at the risk of dropping into 5th. The top 4 are getting away. We got a little 2-wide action going into roller coaster.
Yeah, battle for 5th. A little bit tight of a lunge going into roller coaster, and he wisely backs out of it. That would have been for sure a collision if he did not.
And that's actually, I believe, Mitchell moving up. That's Mitchell in 5th place. Mitchell, who actually races GT cars. He showed me his race car that he races. So we got a real race car driver out here. Kenji not happy being passed, given the bump draft to try to get by, but bus stop isn't really the place you want to do that.
Yeah, especially bump drafting in the corners. It's a little bit dangerous, but Mitchell really pushing it out there, just making sure that he can stay ahead of this pack and make sure that he's within the distance to potentially claim a spot to move into the final, because at the moment he's in 5th place and he's the one to gain for the LCQ, and not as much to lose at the moment, not being in 4th place.
Yeah, everybody's caught up to Cole. Well, by everybody, I mean positions 2 through 4. So we got an LCQ internal struggle, and everyone else out there trying to do their best.
We got a little bit of a battle at the back of the train, but everyone goes back into line just before they get into the sequence of corners. It's all about getting the most that you can from this back straight right here. This is where we see the draft is the strongest, and in the back here we see a battle of 3 going on into this hairpin right here, and we're for sure going to see a change of positions, maybe some undercuts, over-unders thrown here and there, and that battle continues. But as you can see, they lost so much time, they fell off the train and are about to lead their own train of the back of the pack. First place so far ahead. Second, third, and fourth, nose to tail the whole way through.
And if I pull up the lap times, we could see that we know that Baron and Colin have the pace to get by Cole Sheriff, who's currently in second, but they don't. It's not really a priority per se. The Cole's, as Cole pulls away, Cole realizing that they're in a comfortable position. I wouldn't be surprised if they just stayed with each other and just rode out the final. But we do know that the people behind them, they're gonna want to try to catch up.
Yeah.
But the people behind them are fighting each other. So that's only hurting themselves. You gotta sort this out really quick. As David gets by and takes 5th place. And, oh no, Mitchell's not happy with that. Mitchell just lost 3 positions because he got bumped out.
Oh, looks like a move was thrown. Baron moves up on the inside of 2nd place here. And he claims that 2nd place. And Colin follows him through. And it's going to be too wide for 3rd place in the back there.
Oh man, things are really shaking up. I said they might just stay put, but Baron said, no thank you, I'm going to take 2nd place. And Baron got past Cole to take 2nd. And now it's up to Colin to see if he can follow suit and pass Cole for 3rd. We can see that David is... Oh, David's pushing. David's pushing really hard. David, who's currently in 5th, who's normally in the final, has found himself in 5th place of the LCQ.
Yeah, this is David Boschavuli, right?
Yes.
He's got quite the pace. I wonder how far back he started and then ended up getting up to here, because that gap is closing. Before you said it was 2 seconds, now it looks way less than that. And the battle for 4th place is going to kick off, or the train is going to expand. And it looks like Baron gets dived up on the inside.
Cole takes that spot back. All this fighting, it's just going to help David catch up. We're in the middle stages of the race. So there is time for David to catch up, and Aiden too. David and Aiden are on a charge to become flies in the ointment of the 2nd through 4th. The LCQ is back on. David and Aiden are catching up fast.
And Baron is the one who lost out the most, going from 2nd place all the way back down to 4th place in the span of 2 hairpins. Baron now stuck dangling in 4th place with normal finalists David and Aiden Flynn coming right up behind. It's a very vulnerable position to be in.
And that's Colin Flynn making a 2-for-1 special out of double apex. Colin Flynn jumps from 4th to 2nd, leaving everyone behind him in the dust.
And in the meantime, David dives up on the inside of Baron and takes away his 4th place. Baron down to 5th, David up to 4th, and in the safety zone to make it into the final.
Baron once again giving us absolute cinema in the LCQ. But unfortunately for Baron, he's now in 5th. He dropped from 2nd to 5th. Everything is getting scrambled in these positions. And while they've all been fighting, our race leader, Aiden Flynn, has just been running away with it. Let me pull that gap up. The gap will update when they cross the line. But dang. Basically, this race for 2nd is like the new podium positions. You want to be in the top 3 of this train here. And Aiden Romine has been stuck behind Baron as he makes a move.
Baron loses another position. 5th place is lost, and he's demoted down to 6th.
Baron loses another position to Aiden Romine. Baron's now in 6th. He started on pole. It's the pole position curse once more. Tragic. Both Cole and David looking behind them, wondering how hard they can fight each other, because they know that Aiden Romine, who was able to keep pace with David, will, in theory, be able to catch up with them if they decide to fight.
David, on the inside of double apex, he had so much momentum going into roller coaster, and there was just nothing. That 3rd place could do, and so David takes that 3rd place.
Now, that's actually, David took 3rd place, putting Cole in 4th place. So now it's up to Cole to keep up with David, and I wouldn't try to fight David to get the spot back, because you know, if you're in 4th place, Aiden Romine is right behind you and catching up. So you're going to want to try to push David along. If he gets past you, you know he's going to try to get past you again. You want to fight the war, not the battle. This is a fight to get into the final. If you get past whoever's in front of you for the LCQ finalist positions, the top 4, you're just going to get one position in.
But he goes for it anyway, diving up on the inside.
He's ambitious.
David is wise to it, and he holds it out around the outside, holding all the momentum and saying, no, this is mine. Get back.
Cole's in it to win it today. I mean, honestly, more power to him. He's out there to race, and as I warned him, Aiden Romine threatening Cole to take that spot. We're 2 by 2. They're showing each other respect, but Cole looks like he just got the better line down the front. So now it's Cole under threat directly from Aiden Romine. The top 4 have been really scrambling. So we got Aiden way out in front. We got Cole and Flynn, who's also way out in front of David. David's getting away from Cole. It's Cole who is under threat right now to maybe lose his position in the final because Aiden really wants that spot. As well he should. This is the last chance to get into the final where all the big points can be scored. Down the front straight they go, and unfortunately Aiden doesn't get a good exit. Aiden lost a little bit of time, and he's gonna have to make that up and try to get past Cole for the final spot. It all comes down to this, the final lap. The fight between Aiden in 5th and Cole in 4th. Who is going to get into the final? We're gonna find out in about a minute's time. You got a minute to win it.
Yep. Cole, very brave to take the normal racing line through top of the world, but of course Aiden just wasn't in a position to capitalize on that and dive up on the inside like I've seen so many times before.
But Cole going through Aiden, not happy. Aiden's frustrated. He made a mistake, it seems, going through those sequence of turns, which compromised him on probably the best possible opportunity. It slipped through his fingers. Cole and Aiden have the same pace going down the back straight. It's going to be almost impossible now to pass Cole if you don't have that right setup. Aiden knows this, which is why he's so visibly frustrated. But a really good effort from everyone today. Aiden Flynn crosses the line to take first. Cole and Flynn, the 2 brothers, I think they're brothers, cross the line to take second. David Buster-Philly in 3rd. And Cole Sheriff rounds out our LCQ. Aiden, so close yet so far. Couldn't make it into the final. And we will see you in the final. Hit it.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the final of the 7th race of the 2024 fall season. We got all 24 karts here with the top 4 finishers of the LCQ bringing up the caboose of this big ol' formation lap train. And they're going to be here to get as many points as they can in this penultimate race before the final race of the season.
Starting out on pole, we got Steven Barrett, and next to him is Sebastian. Right behind them are defending champion Paulo and Davidson. And behind them, Sergey and, surprisingly, Harb, who had a fantastic race. As you can see, they're on a new fleet of karts. The field is all evened up, and they're about to get racing for the penultimate race of the fall season. They line up down the front straight.
Yeah, new fleet of karts, new paint job, and they're breaking them in. They got started on Wednesday, and now as this race is going to start,
and the flags waved and they're away. 2 by 2 they go down the front straight, accelerating into that roller coaster turn 1. Steven gets a really good entrance. Paulo couldn't get by Sebastian and they come through. And as I listen for any crashes, there are none. They all make it through roller coaster. Track is probably still damp down there, so they got to be really careful. But we got Steven still in the lead, followed very closely by Sebastian. Davidson gains a position. Davidson's now in 3rd. Paulo's in 4th. We got that's Sergey in 5th and Harb in 6th. That's the current top 6. In the hunt in 7th is Todd Hutchings. Worth noting that Todd in 7th and Sebastian in 2nd, those two are really close to each other in the championship, battling for 3rd place in the championship. So we got championship battles out on track already. Paulo also needs to make more points because his championship's under threat by Spencer, who's actually far back. So this could be a good opportunity for Paulo to help build that gap. But we see Sergey giving Paulo a bump draft. Sergey in 5th, Paulo in 4th. Everybody's in that train going through. Track is mostly dry, but it did rain overnight. There are some damp spots, so they probably can't push as hard as they think they can. They're on brand new karts on a track with changing conditions. The track conditions today are putting all these drivers through the ultimate test. As we see them go down the front straight, let's get those standings updated for you. And let's get on with the race. Here we go.
Concluding the first lap, they all get together in their trains with the intermittent battles here and there. We got 2-wide action going into roller coaster near the back of the pack there. Someone's able to get that overtake or defense around the outside there. I wasn't sure who was in the lead before that move was thrown.
Steven is still in the lead. So Steven still leads the race. Sebastian hunting for that race win to get him past Todd to take 3rd place. And it looks like there was a racer that got caught out and is way behind the pack. He's not even on frame. Really unfortunate. I know who that is, but I'm not going to call you out. I do not name and shame out here. Really unfortunate that he must have crashed. Didn't get it on camera.
Yeah, I didn't see where that crash happened. I thought I was looking for it, but I guess not. The bottom 4 having a really intense train battle, just trying to keep up to the back of the 22 karts in front of them.
So they're keeping it mostly clean. This big train, we got the Steven train, who is spearheading the entire grid. Basically, most of the grid is in this train for first. And now that they're crossing the line again, let's get those lap times up so we could see the paces that they're running out here.
Looks like we see a little bit of a think of a move going on. They all just part to go to the right to take that optimal line into roller coaster. They're all going to make it through it. And then I guess it's all about really getting that gap up so that way it's safe to throw a move. Because as you saw, someone thought about making the move, but then they thought better of it because then they're just going to get kicked out of the train and they're going to lose like up to 10 positions potentially, maybe even more than that, from just having a think of possibly overtaking. So the gaps really need to be built up between them before anyone is really comfortable with throwing those moves, unless it's literally just given to them.
Yeah, being in a train like that, it's frustrating, because you really want to get past the guy in front of you, but if you don't do it right, you just lose everything, and that's even more frustrating. It's a big battle of patience for each of these drivers. They know they have the kart and the pace, because the field has never been as equal as it is now with its new fleet of karts.
Yeah, the wind died down a little bit in the best spot possibly for an overtake, so don't even really get that much draft advantage into those corners. But this is everything Steven wants right now. He doesn't want the chaos. He doesn't want there to be a bunch of battling. He's really good at setting really fast laps, and so if he's just allowed to...
Paulo's going for it. Paulo on the outside line, tucks back in, thought of making a move on Davidson, but it didn't quite work. He thought he could get the momentum down the front straight, but he couldn't. So now everybody, they're just single file, sniffing for opportunities, but they don't want to sniff too hard or they'll choke. I just said that.
Yeah, especially in the 6th season, you don't want to have to cough up too much phlegm just because you were thinking of getting a move done.
Yeah, we're late in the season. The championship is still up for grabs. The season's not over. Paulo hasn't had his dominating season, so he still has to do well, which, to his credit, he's doing absolutely fantastic. But in 4th place with, actually, Spencer, I think, made a couple positions. Spencer's on the hunt. So our championship battle's still on, but it's really tense. Everybody keeping the fights rather muted. They're all waiting to see who jumps first and then capitalizing on whatever happens. This is just going to be a massive pressure cooker buildup for most of the race.
Yeah, all it takes is one mistake from anyone, and then the moves start flying. Attacking moves, defensive moves. And hopefully, in all that chaos, everyone stays on the track, but there's still that risk that you just end up losing it all when that battle happens.
Now, unfortunately, I see a gap forming between Harb in 6th and Todd in 7th. Because it's Alex. Alex is hounding Todd to see if he can get past him. Because of that gap, that might give Alex a bit of incentive to try to make the move on Todd, and we may see the train break apart soon.
Yep, I'm starting to see a little bit of a gap building.
Too wide.
There.
There's 2 wide through top of the world.
Paulo moved out to the outside of top of the world. Is he going to be let back in? Was he able to gain a position from that, or is he still just in fourth?
So the Paulo managing to go 2 wide in some places to see if he can make a move, and then managing to not lose positions. I cannot understate or overstate how hard that is to do, to try to make a move and not lose positions when the train is as tight as it is.
Everything needs to be perfect here. At the moment, I think at this stage of the race, people are just content to stay on the line, bump draft a little bit, try to build
Davidson
up the
going
gap.
for it. Davidson dove down the inside, and it's took second place away from Sebastian. Davidson takes second place, and now he's going to get focused to try to take first. Davidson is no stranger to winning a race, but neither is Steven, who's in the lead. That was a brilliant dive by Davidson. He saw that opportunity. He snuck on the inside of turn 2, and I think that actually caught Sebastian by surprise. Sebastian had nowhere to go. Brilliantly played by Davidson.
And
Sebastian's trying to get back.
He dives up on the inside. Will the space be left?
Oh, man. And Paulo wants in on the action. Paulo's on the outside of top of the world. Not where you want to be. Sergey on the inside, but then Paulo gets the inside of bus stop and has to tuck back in. Oh. Very disciplined from our top 10 here.
Yeah, I'm just really glad to see that no one's pushed anyone off the track there. Everyone's been playing nice and everyone's been keeping their positions, and Sebastian was able to get his spot back from Davidson.
I just want to point out,
which is very impressive.
Through all that chaos, Sebastian reclaimed second place away from Davidson. That overtake was not long-lived. Sebastian said, "You want to pass me? No, you're not passing me." And now Sebastian's taking a defensive line. He's privy to it. And that is actually going to let Steven gap them just a little bit. You don't want to get too defensive here, but the race is on. And I can tell Davidson is frustrated, shaking his head. He left the position, he lost, he gained it, and then he lost it, so that's not a net loss. So the top 4 are as they are when they started, I believe. But Steven, we got Steven, Sebastian, Davidson, and Paulo, that's our top 4. And we got Sergey and Harb in 6th, Todd still in 7th. Our top 7 has not changed, at least permanently, since the race started. They've jockeyed for position, they've gained some, they've lost some, but as of right now, the top 7 are as they are when they started.
That is really impressive. It just shows how clean they've been and just how representative of their position placements were from the heat race. They're racing as they were before, and they're racing consistently, which is a lot to say. We can just see their lines. Like, with this train that we have here, we can literally visually see the racing line as they make that line with their carts.
If you said something to me, I didn't hear it. I'm too busy taking in the sound of these brand new engines.
Yeah,
oh boy, it looks like the top 2 are getting away. That's going to let Sebastian try to take a sniff on the outside with a better line. We got Steven defending the inside line. Steven knows how to defend this, and I think Steven's going to be content with keeping this train rolling and not giving up first place. Obviously, if you're winning the race, you're not going to give up.
Sebastian had a lot of momentum being able to take the full racing line while Steven was forced on the defensive line. And Sebastian almost had something there, but he clipped the rear corner of Steven's bumper, and it just halted his momentum, and he wasn't able to get anything from it.
Let's get those lap times up again so we can see the kinds of laps they're putting. The track is still somewhat damp, so it looks like no one's broken past the 80-second barrier, which they have, I believe they did in qualifying. So in race conditions, it's different from qualifying. You can't take the optimal pace line because you're taking the optimal race line. And Paulo dives down Paulo dives in and takes second place. That was a brilliant dive from Paulo.
Overtake?
Please tell me you got that on camera.
I did get that on camera. I've seen Paulo. Paulo just did a double overtake on the inside of turn 3, passing both Davidson and Sebastian, who were the ones giving us the action with them overtaking each other. And now Sergey's up in there. Someone's lost out even more.
Sebastian just dropped from 2nd to 5th in the span of 3 corners. That dive bomb from Paulo just disrupted Sebastian's line, and because that sent him offline, the train just chugged right past him. Really tragic for Sebastian, but this is an opportunity for Todd to catch back up to Sebastian. Todd's in 7th, Sebastian's in 5th, and these two are battling for 3rd in the championship. So it's game on, but in the middle of them is Harb with his menacing Minions helmet every time.
Finally made it through the heat race, straight up into the final, and he's just in there with the best of them. Able to keep up, able to keep in the pace. We haven't been seeing too much battling going on, but he's just in there with that passive intimidation of the menacing Minions helmet.
But once again, our top 2 are fighting, and Paulo claims the lead. Can Steven get it back? Steven's on the inside of turn 2. Paulo's on the outside. This means Davidson can sneak on the inside. Everything's all for a play here. Can Paulo keep the outside to get the inside of turn 1? No, he can't. Davidson reclaims 2nd place. Paulo drops down to 3rd. Steven stays in the lead. That Paulo went for the race win. Oh, Davidson's going for the race win, but Steven's probably thinking preview of it. Side by side into turn 1. And Paulo does
on the inside.
And who comes out on top? It's hard to tell from this angle.
It's still too wide.
Too wide.
On the outside of double apex.
Too wide through double apex. But Paul's going to get the inside. He gets squeezed on the inside. Davidson loses out on the outside. And Davidson loses out big time. No! So much action. The pressure cooker is finally starting to show its whatever pressure cookers do when they explode. It's okay, I had it in the first half.
Something got cooked.
Yeah,
something got cooked, and it was Davidson's points as he falls super far back, and now he needs to fight again just to get what he almost had there with that 2nd place spot. It's just so risky to make overtaking moves when you're in a train like this, because that's what happens. You just lose 5 positions in a flash.
So Paulo and Steven are no strangers to fighting tooth and nail for the race win, and Sergey's right behind them. Sergey's done leading the train. Sergey wants to lead this train once more, so Sergey's in the hunt for the race win as well. So the race order as they cross the line: Steven, Paulo, Sergey, Davidson, Sebastian, Harb, Todd, Alex, Sam, and William Yee round out the top 10.
Everyone taking that defensive line at first and then moving on to the outside at the same time. There's a huge cluster going on in the rear there. But nothing too crazy going on. But what is crazy is the fact that we've just had a battle where...
Oh no, Davidson's off! Davidson, I don't know if he got pushed off, but Davidson went off and he just lost out. He lost about 4 positions there. And he's going to drop back behind Sam. Oh no, and Sam's
and it's too wide further back there, as Davidson's going to try to reclaim everything that he lost.
Sam
but he's stuck on the outside. He goes for the undercut, but he just doesn't have the pace to make the move past, and now he's even further back in the back of the train.
You hate to see it. But man, we're starting to enter the later stages of the race.
And the battle for first kicks off again, as I thought
Paulo got by. In all that chaos, Paulo got by to take the first place away from Steven, and I didn't see it.
Yeah, Paulo made a move on the inside of Steven into turn 3 because the gap was large enough, and he was able to just get that clean overtake done. Steven not able to respond. Paulo now leads this race.
So, the top 3 are in a battle with each other. Harb going around the outside in 5th, gonna try to take 4th. Currently in 4th is Seb. Seb, who was in the front row, is now in 4th, trying to, I guess, damage control. Because the top 3 are they're not getting away, actually. They're actually starting to catch up with each other. But it's Paulo in the lead, but Paulo can't relax yet, because the top 3, the pressure's on. These are probably some of the highest pressure racing we've seen all season. The train for the first place, except the karts are a lot more equal than they have been. They're brand new karts. So, it all comes down to mostly driver skill now.
And Harb, just by existing in the train, has moved himself up to 5th place and is still part of the lead train. The gap is behind him. Harb doing a great job to keep up with the race leaders.
Around in turn 3, keeping it clean. Oh no, Todd's under threat. Todd gets passed by Sam in the back there. Yeah, there they are. Unfortunate, there's a gap that's formed. Let me get those gaps up for you. There you go. As the white flag is waved, it's the final lap. Paulo's in the lead, followed by Steven and Sergey and Sebastian and Harb. Harb is in 5th place. Harb gained a position. But in this final lap, who's going to win this race? It's still under threat from Steven. Steven does know how to pass Paulo, but Paulo does not make it easy by any means. And he knows that if Steven's going to go for the win, he has to risk it all. Because Sergey is right behind him, and so is Seb and Harp. So if you make a move and it doesn't stick, you will grasp defeat from the jaws of victory. But is 2nd place really a victory? Depends on who you ask.
Yeah, especially for championship points, because what this means is Paulo might just be able to secure his win if he wins this, right?
Well, in any case, they go down the back straight. They all have relatively equal paces. But it looks like Steven's going to try to force his way in, but Paulo keeps that door sealed shut. Sealed completely tight. Perfect defense from Paulo. It's all going to come down to these last 2 turns. We got a train coming in through the last 2 turns to the finish line. Paulo's got to defend. Keep that door tightly shut. Can Steven go around the outside? It doesn't seem like it. And they come around to cross the finish line, and Paulo takes another race win, followed very closely by Steven and Sergey to round the top 3.
Someone overcooks it near the end there. It goes into the grass a little bit, but it is such a close race. Closest pack I've seen forever, and a very, very clean race. I didn't see any incidents on camera, even though there might have been an incident off camera. And with that final concluded, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you in 2 weeks for the final race of the 2024 fall season. And now it's time to see you at the podium with the points update.
Well, first of all, thank you guys all for coming down today. Once again, nice good racing out there. That was a very, very competitive final and fun for us to watch. Nice clean racing, aggressive, good defense. But yeah, all in all, we're going to start off with 3rd place today. We got down to a best lap time of an 80.304, finishing .29 off the leader. 3rd place. Okay, come on, stop. That's right. Coming in 2nd place, doing his best to keep everyone behind for most of the race. He had a best lap time of an 80.260, finishing .112 off the lead. 2nd place, Stephen Barry.
Good job, Steven.
Good job, Steven. And taking that top spot, another win under his belt, one of many. I think that puts him at like 50 wins in 2 years. 1st place with the best lap time of an 80.292. We got Paul Bettini. You get new trophies for the championship as well. And bonus, fastest lap time today with a 79.579, Aiden Flynn. Nice driving, Aiden.